Hello, and good day, everyone! Welcome to Drakan Gates Glitch Tutorial episode 76. We are going to be exploring a variety of different glitches, followed by episode 77, where we're going to be talking about the Rynn-/flight- glitch, as well as for episode 78, we are finally going to be in Stratos, everyone! Finally! So close to getting through the first playthrough of the glitch tutorial to get to the post playthrough of being able to explore, since we know so much more now about glitches and such. There is so much more things that we can do now with said knowledge, and we're going to be exploring that all together when we complete Stratos. Whew! With that being said, let's go ahead and start off with our first glitch. This is an enhancement of the glitch that I showcased in episode 70, where we want to have a swimming Rynn to get onto Arokh, but first and foremost we need to equip a torch. Yes, we're going to be exploring that glitch. So we got a torch right here. I have it equipped. We're then going to swim, and if Arokh is close enough, I can just immediately climb onto him.
Rynn, let's get going.
And then have the torch equipped. Look at this, everyone. We don't need to go underneath the sea and go out of bounds, go underneath the sea, go out of bounds, clip in with Arokh on the water to then jump off of Rynn, have her swim, and then swim back to Arokh to get the torch equipped. We can actually do it here. And the thing is, this glitch only works in certain locations. Not necessarily of activation, but in terms of getting the game to slow down. Right now, the game will not slow down. You have to go from Ravenshold to Surdana to do that, but there is only a few other ones that this works in. Let me show you which ones those are. Surdana to Shiverbane and Surdana to the Vow of the Fallen are the only two level-to-level locations that we can perform the frame-like glitch. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. But in terms of just activating the glitch that we did back in episode 50, in which we have a weapon equipped while riding on Arokh, we just need any area that we can basically have Rynn swim up to Arokh. And we can just go back forward, and then she has fully equipped the melee weapon, without ever having to be under the sea with Arokh to do it. Before we move on to our next glitch, there's one thing that I wanted to note here that I didn't really note in episode 70, in regards to if we have the frame lag glitch activated, whether it be from Ravenshold to Surdana, Surdana to Shiverbane, or Surdana to Vow of the Fallen, is that if we come back with said glitch without deactivating it, we will encounter a save that will be kind of suspended here and will not continue further. However, the game had actually saved. What we need to do is just simply reset the game, and then once when we get back to the menu, we're going to basically go to said save, and then you can see here, yes, we had actually successfully saved the game, and now we can just continue from where we left off. Our next glitch is an add-on to episode 71, where we made Jade's Emporium go boom with explosions. And however, the area of effect when you exit outside with a glitch is rather small, whether you have attacks from the right, or even attacks from the left, or attacks from above and attacks below seem to miss, as the absorption field is very small in comparison. But we can have a very focused explosion happen and have it suspended in air rather than exploding a building. Before we move on to our next list, I just wanted to show you guys what exactly we were working with here. This is the area that we're working with now, since we've loaded the exterior tower and we have this to work with instead. So have fun decorating the towerless Emporium with explosions. Speaking of Emporium, we are going to skip adding anything to episode 72 and skip right to episode 73, as I really want to show you guys, again, the easiest way to get up to the balcony, where you just simply go back behind here in the book stack, and this one doesn't utilize a weapon when doing a phantom rolling glitch. Activating the phantom rolling glitch we'll then roll off over. We can't roll to the left because we'll fall through, but on this side of the wall, we will pop up to here, in which we can just roll right into here, and we're inside the balcony. Now, also, I do want to add another way. If for some reason you pop up here and you can't get inside, or you broke out of the ring glide glitch, you can also simply use a Hoo-turn to get right back inside here. Another thing is you cannot cast attack spells up here. You could enchant yourself still up here, but you cannot cast attack spells. Another thing you can do with these uncastable spells is stack the sound effects, which one spell in particular gets pretty loud, and that's Impale. As you can see, our here, I'm not sure if you can actually hear me right now over this effects. Another thing to do here is move around while trying to incant the spells. And move the camera around gives us a bit of an earthquake effect. Yes, Rynn's overwhelming magical power is causing the very land beneath her feet to quake. But I digress. Moving on with the bow, I did note that we cannot crouch while in sight mode. However, up here, if we roll, we will not stand up. This will keep us crouched down, and so that if we do activate sight mode, we will be able to have a much better view outside the window. Now, rolling itself is a bit hard to aim and get the right distance to, but I have a better way to get us the sure position to be able to get the best view possible from the window. And that's with the Hoo-turn, which we're going to try to perform it directly above the center of the window. So give me a sec here and let me try to get that all set up here. And Hoo-turn. All right, now we're just going to equip the bow, and then we're going to crouch down and roll backwards. This will cause Rynn to be stuck in a crouched position, and when in sight mode, we do not stand up, thus allowing us to look outside the window. Though technically I am actually in front of the window, I actually didn't get inside it, but this feels like I'm looking out from the window, and that's the whole point of this, is the feel of looking outside the window. Sure, I can get a better view by going out there myself, but I want the window, damn it! Since the Alchemist Tower is essentially a carbon copy of Jade's Emporium, we're going to also be able to access the balcony the same way. My favorite thing to do is perform a Hoo-turn now to get underneath the table here, and then be able to get low enough into the ground to be able to do a phantom rolling glitch, and sometimes you could fall off the edge, but that's okay, we can pop up and still keep the phantom rolling glitch going. Now that we have it activated, we can go ahead and access the balcony. Remember, over here, we'll fall through the ground, but if we go out over here, we'll be able to pop up to the balcony. One of the slight differences up here is the fact that we got floating windows above us, but let's ignore that for now. Let's go inside.
Gee, it's kinda dark. You bring a light?
Why, yes I did. The Alchemist's balcony follows the same rules as Jade's Emporium's balcony, where our jumping is limited, we're unable to cast offensive magic, and we can activate sight mode while crouching. All these basically are the same rules as the balcony, and just emphasizes that the Alchemist's balcony is a carbon copy of Jade's Emporium's balcony. With the torch re-equipped, I want to emphasize that even in the Alchemist Shop, there is no treasure to be had at the balcony. And even if we go to the second floor, there is no treasure to be seen. Whether it be the Alchemist Shop or Jade's Emporium, there is no secret treasure or weapons room, which is disappointing, really. But that's it for over-accessing the balcony. Let's move on to actually accessing a different balcony, using the towers of the gate over there. Using a bow to make sure we get as close as we can to the very edge of the Alchemist Shop second roof without falling off, at least the invisible platform of what's supposed to be the second roof, and then we will save the game. What we're going to do is a ring glide glitch to the tower here, but this one is trickier than the one that we did over in the castle to access the rooftop balcony because the distance is just a little bit longer. But as with any glitch that can't be performed, persistence is the most important key in trying to make it work. Now, once when we land right up here, we are then going to again perform another one, just exactly like we did with the castle. And then we're going to be able to access, I guess you can call it a balcony, but we can access this balcony slash rooftop or lookout section of the gate here. And be able to see such pretty nice, a fantastic view from over here. Kind of like what the, I guess the archer guards, if we had any archer guards like in Ravenshold, would be looking out on. And if we go up to this corner here, we can have a really good view of the castle town. Of course, right now, the Alchemist Tower is gone, but we can still have look out in this direction to have a good view of the castle. Now let's talk about getting Arokh inside the Alchemist Shop. Now there is an invisible barrier that basically protects the entirety of the Alchemist Shop here. Unlike Jade's Emporium, which allows us to get as close as we can given that it lacks said invisible boundaries. Also, in addition to that, we can actually land on the first roof and utilize said first roof to make an attempt to bypass Arokh into Jade's Emporium, which he is able to do. Unlike the Alchemist Shop, in which we can't even land Arokh, we can get the animation going, but the invisible boundaries severely limit his landing space to the point that he is unable to. So after we load the interior of the Alchemist Shop, we can now get Arokh inside, and here's how you do it. We move off to the left over here because the right side is more of a trap than anything. And then we're going to walk Arokh forward till we get him this close. From here, we're going to use the same strategy we did with Arokh to bypass into the castle, which is spamming triangle, then X, triangle and X while strafing in the direction we want to go further inside, which is to the left for this example. Now we have encountering a problem here. You'll encounter where the camera zooms in too far, you can't see anything, and also that the darn load screen will keep activating and activating non-stop. It gets really annoying. But that also, we can't actually strafe further inside, so we need to do something else. So once we get to this point, all we need to do is basically turn Arokh towards where we want to go, and we'll just spam triangle and X to get Arokh further inside, while moving forward instead of strafing. This works because we're already inside the wall, and that's what Arokh really needs in order to actually move in certain directions. So once we get Arokh far enough to the wall, we can go back into strafing, in which we'll just keep doing triangle and X while strafing to the left to be able to get Arokh further inside here. And once we get him free from the wall, we can then land back down, and then we'll strafe to the left and save the game right here. After we save the game, what we're going to do is do something we did over in the castle, is when we bypassed Arokh into the grassy area of the castle, we then utilize the grassy area to then strafe and bypass into the main floor of the castle by pressing up on triangle and then pressing X down, and we're finally able to access this area. Now here, though, I do want to emphasize that we're going to be doing what we did in Jade's Emporium to getting Arokh from Jade's shop up towards the balcony, which is having him ascend very slowly up there by spamming X and triangle. X and triangle together while we are strafing either to the right, to the left, or going forward. Either of those three options will work. It's just a matter of experimenting with them to really make things work here. Now, that spot I was at was not really good. I need to get further back. We need to have a floor, a ceiling, or any object or wall or something to allow Arokh to climb into. When he makes contact with those objects, we're actually able to bypass them into these type of locations. Once we get Arokh up to this spot right here, this is a perfect spot that we'll be able to save the game, as we are actually going to access two areas here. The first one is what I said what we're going to do is access the Alchemist Shop with Arokh, in which here we're technically have access, but we're not fully free yet. We're not free of the bookcase here that we're kind of stuck in. And so, one thing I want to point out here is just like downstairs, we can't quite strafe all the way to the right, whether it be a support beam or just the right side of the bookcase here. We're unable to really clip Arokh through by just simply doing a strafe to the right or left, doing the triangle X. So we need to utilize what we did earlier, which was turning Arokh sideways so we can have him move forward through the bookcase rather than strafing through it. You also don't need to worry about having Arokh going through the floor here because he's tied to this floor now and not the lower one. So once we're able to move him forward enough, we're finally able to get him inside the Alchemist Shop to do basically the same amount of stuff that we can do over in Jade's Emporium. Now let's try to see if we cannot get Arokh up towards the balcony. Loading back to our previous save, we'll be able to have Arokh in the perfect position to actually ascend towards the balcony. We're going to do something that we did in Jade's Emporium where we got Arokh from Jade's shop to her balcony, and which is just spamming triangle and X repeatedly, simultaneously as well. And we'll have Arokh ascend up here. Once we get Arokh up here, we're going to rotate him around and try to get him to change colors here. Perfect. Once when he changes colors, he'll be able to finally land down on the balcony floor. Well, the exterior balcony floor will be able to explore said exterior balcony floor without worry of any outer limits. Because when trying to fly up here, you could run into the risk of certain outer limits causing Arokh to freeze in place. Said outer limits are located in the western and northern portions of the Alchemist Shop, so be sure not to pan your camera over in those directions. As far as I know, we can't actually get Arokh into the balcony here. Here's the two reasons why. First reason is, even if I rotate the camera around, I can't get Arokh to change into that lighter color that allowed him to access the exterior part of the balcony. So we are still very much part of the Alchemist Shop, and that even if we were to descend Arokh back down here, even if we fly to the highest and descend him back down, we will just bypass through the invisible floor here and just go down to the floor of the Alchemist Shop. The second reason is that I am not able to freely ascend and fly around with Arokh, thus not allowing me to strafe into the balcony like I did in Jade's Emporium, which allowed me to have that freedom of movement. This behaves very similarly to the interior castle on the main floor where I wasn't able to freely ascend and fly around with Arokh there as well. Now, in terms of, doing the bypass into the castle and trying to do it here, I believe I still need that freedom of movement and strafing to make that work. What we can do is leave the second floor balcony area with Arokh, and we can leave out from either the left, straight ahead, or off to our right, as long as we don't have a mountainside to deal with. So what we need to do is simply get over to an edge and basically fly up with Arokh and descend back down while strafing to the left. Once we get Arokh down far enough, we can then just descend down to the first roof and then move Arokh out over here. Once we get far enough, we're able to finally freely fly with Arokh and get out of the Alchemist Shop. There is just one more thing I need to discuss here about glitching out of buildings in general before we move on to our next glitch. When you glitch out of a building, you may encounter this phenomena of Rynn not being able to call Arokh regardless of how close she is in proximity. This is kind of hilarious, but can get annoying at times depending on what happens. Now, to revert back to her being able to call Arokh, you can either get on Arokh and dismount, or you can go back into a building or any building and exit out of a building. Exiting out of a building will revert her to be able to call Arokh again. This can be a bit of an inconvenience though if you find Arokh flying around when you glitch out of a building, in which case the only thing you can do is go back into a building, exit out of the building, such as this castle here, and then be able to finally call Arokh back to the ground.
Arokh can't hear me.
I need to make a couple amendments. One, we can get Arokh inside the balcony. The other is about how Arokh can climb inside a restricted space, in which we press and hold triangle, and while holding triangle, we rapidly press X to have Arokh ascend. Strafing is not required, nor flying forward, to make this happen. I guess I've been having trouble trying to get it to work because I've been pressing triangle and X at the same time when I could just simply hold triangle. What we're going to do here in order to get to the balcony is save the game. Saving the game itself will actually make Arokh have a lighter skin, a lighter hue to his skin, thus allowing him to be more of the outside rather than the inside of the Alchemist Shop. After saving the game, as you can see, Arokh is a lighter color, and we just descend down. Arokh is able to land inside, and there's not much that we can do aside from what we've been able to do when we had Arokh inside here with Jade's Emporium. But what we're going to do here is try to get back to the Alchemist Shop itself and be able to look at Arokh from down below there. So we're going to go ahead and perform a safe fall glitch in which we'll use a weapon here to have Rynn safely descend down so she doesn't take much damage, and which will land onto this invisible platform here. And then we're going to roll Rynn right into the shop. Running won't have Rynn pop up in here, however, so we again will just roll right into here, and once inside we can see our beautiful dragon Arokh. Just like we did over in Jade's Emporium, we were able to look up from here to see Arokh on top of the balcony. Now let's talk about accessing this floor of the Alchemist Shop when it's unloaded. So what we're going to do is make our way out over here to perform a phantom rolling glitch out at the entrance. Of course, we can do that really anywhere. We could have done it up here and then rolled out of here. But I want to make sure that we got the exterior unloaded. The exterior loaded back in. And then we're going to perform our phantom rolling glitches by performing our tunnel flips, our sideways tunnel flips. And then once we get into the tower, we'll then make our way over to the corner that will help us pop up as you can see, there's no Alchemist Shop right now, but if we pop up to here, we should be able to see the Alchemist Shop. Then from there, we're going to have Rynn roll and pop up here as we learned before, and then we're going to save the game. From here, we're going to use Arokh to be able to access the second roof. So we're going to move Arokh to the center, and then as I told you before, we're going to press and hold triangle, and then press X repeatedly and rapidly to have Arokh ascend up here. Once when we got Arokh high enough, we're then going to save the game. And now Arokh is a lighter hue, and so we're able to access the invisible floor to access the second roof. In which, in hindsight, saving the game is really remarkable in ways that we can be able to load in or load out of certain areas, which I only thought it was limited to like tunnels and caves and such. But now I know it can be used for buildings. Let's go ahead and save the game right here. After completing our save, we are going to then dismount and make our way to our corner. Then we're going to perform our sideways tunnel flips to try to get Rynn down far enough in that we're going to roll her to the right to get her even closer, press select, and then we're going to do some sideways tunnel flips, which will now push her further down. And once we get further down enough, we're going to roll and then press select, and we'll be on top of the second roof with Rynn, in which we can go ahead and do one more thing. And that one thing is accessing the Eastern Gates balcony, which we have done before, but this time we're going to have the Alchemist Shop's tower loaded in. So we'll perform a Rynn glide glitch over to here, then turn Rynn this way to then again to perform another Rynn glide glitch to access the balcony here. And now we're able to access here and be able to see Surdana's completion, except I did leave out Jade's Emporium Tower. But yes, we can actually see the entire Surdana in this beautiful, beautiful aspect here. Call Arokh out of here so he's not stuck in there. And voila! We can see the complete view of Surdana. Again, if you have Jade's Emporium loaded in. Let's talk about a quicker way we can get out to Arokh in another location in which we can perform the Phantom Rolling Glitch. Here we'll do a Who turn, and then we're going to perform a series of sideways tunnel flips to be able to get Rynn far enough into the ground to be able to have her roll out of here and to be able to get to Arokh. I do have to note that the location is really pushy, and so you're going to need some persistence to make it work, or you can get lucky like I did and be able to get out of here. Also, you have to deal with a blue disc sometimes, in which will reset Rynn's phantom rolling glitch. So just fair warning if you were to perform the phantom rolling glitch in that location to be able to access Arokh a lot quicker. That's it for this part 1, as we'll continue things off in part 2 to explore more add-ons, this time for episode 74 and 75. I just, as I was editing the video, I was going to have it all in one, but I was nearing 40 minutes. Like, no, I can't. I just can't justify making 30 to 40 plus minute videos, especially for a glitch tutorial and just featuring glitches. In that regards, it was just, I was able to neatly split it down the middle, and part 2 is mostly done. So it shouldn't be too long for me to edit that and have that uploaded. At least it's not going to take as long as it took to upload this part. Also to note, everyone, for those of you who have played the PAL version of the game, July 5th marked the 25th anniversary for the PAL version of the game. So, for all of you who was introduced to the game through the PAL version, happy anniversary to you guys. Happy anniversary to Drakan the Ancient Gate's PAL version of the game. And with that, that's it here. And we're going to continue on to part 2. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, have a great life, everyone. There you are, Arokh.
Oh, sorry, madam. I thought for a moment there you were a dragon. What can I do for you?
We've come to restore the gateways to Surdana. Can you lead us to them?
Now what?
The gates of the eye were sealed by magic. The spell to unlock them was bound in a rune of power and hidden away. In the swamps there is a memorial known as the Tree of Mourning. The rune lies in a chamber beneath the roots. I'm afraid I'll need you to journey into the swamps for me. The tunnel to the Shadowmire is just over there. Good luck.
I don't need that.
Arokh,
What?
I just want directions.
Yes, that might be a good idea. Perhaps you can offer us some directions.
No.
This is no joke. I've been hearing things.
Careful with those ones. Too many of those and the voices come. You know how they are.
This is no joke. Come, let's get going.
If you haven't got the money, don't waste my time.
What?
Come back when you have the gold.
Surdana!